Hello and welcome. Welcome to Yorkshire, a county rich in history, rolling countrysides and characterful market towns. In today's journey, we're taking a scenic drive through some of North Yorkshire's most picturesque locations. From Helmsley to Osmotherley, with 4 carefully chosen stops, we'll walk cobbled streets, explore and uncover stories from the past that shaped England's rural heart. Let's go. Welcome to Helmsley, a picture-perfect market town nestled in the heart of North Yorkshire. Rich in history, charm and natural beauty, Helmsley is the gateway to the North Yorkshire moors and home to some truly remarkable landmarks. Let's go and explore. In the marketplace stands a tribute to one of Helmsley's most influential figures, William Duncombe, the second Baronet of Faversham. This towering column commemorates Duncombe's work as a politician and benefactor. It's part of the Grand Duncombe Park estate, just a short walk from the town centre. Helmsley is also a popular rendezvous for bikers. Standing proudly in the market square is Helmsley's Town Hall. Built in 1901, this distinctive building has served as a civic hub for over a century. Leaving the marketplace, heading towards Helmsley Castle. very colourful allotment, beautiful flowers. Helmsley Castle, built in the 12th century, this impressive fortress has stood through centuries of change, from medieval warfare to Tudor elegance. The castle was once owned by the powerful de Roos family and later passed on to the Duke of Buckingham. During the English Civil War, it was besieged and partially destroyed by parliamentarian forces. Today, English Heritage cares for it, and it's a must-see if you're visiting Helmsley. Tucked just behind the castle wall lies a hidden gem, the Helmsley Walled Garden. Once the kitchen garden of the Grand Duncombe Park estate, it has lay abandoned for decades until a group of volunteers brought it back to life. Today, it's a 5-acre paradise of colour, scent and serenity, a true escape, just steps from the town centre. Leaving the beautiful sight and smells of the walled gardens, now heading to the next point of interest. The soul of the town stands quietly on Church Street. This is All Saints' Church, dating back to the 12th century. It's a blend of Norman roots and Victorian restoration, and inside, light filtered through the beautiful stained glass windows. Here, time seems to slow down. It's a space for reflection, history, and quiet spiritual heritage. The market is held every Friday. Helmsley is more than just a market town. It's a living story, a place of ruins and renewal, faith and flowers, tradition and togetherness. Visit for yourself and take a walk through history. As we leave Helmsley behind, we wind through quiet moorland roads and open blue skies. It's about 30 minutes to Great Ayton, but with views like this, you'll wish it was longer. On the left, we'll be passing the Review Abbey. It's a beautiful day to be driving on North York moors. Blue skies, temperature 21 degrees centigrade. Hope you're enjoying the ride. Why don't you subscribe now and help out the channel? It's free. Three miles to our next stop, Great Ayton. Great Ayton is our next stop. This little gem is best known as the boyhood home of Captain James Cook, but it's also packed with stunning views, fascinating stories, and a real sense of peace. This is where I'll leave the car and we'll have a walk around Great Ayton, see what we can discover. All Saints Church stands quietly amongst the gravestones, dating back to the 12th century. It's one of the oldest buildings in the village, and Captain Cook's parents are buried here. This is sacred ground for the community and for history. You can almost imagine Cook as a young boy walking here with his family. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Great Ayton wasn't just picturesque, it was busy. It was known for weaving, tanning, brewing, and tile making. Local clay from the surrounding hills helped supply regional construction. You'll still see buildings that date back to this era, with distinctive brickwork and slate. There are two lovely greens in Great Ayton. This is High Green, the village centre. On the village green in Great Ayton, North Yorkshire, stands a statue, not of a great naval captain, but of a boy, James Cook, aged 16. Making my way down the high street. This is the site of the Old Friends School, opened in 1841 by the Quakers. It ran for more than 150 years and helped shape a generation of young minds before closing in 1997. Just a short walk from the village green, you'll find the Captain Cook's Schoolroom Museum, where young James first learned to read, write and think beyond the fields of Yorkshire. Today, Great Ayton thrives in a quiet way. It's home to artists, families, hikers, and even a few champions, like cyclist brothers Harry and Charlie Tanfield, born here in the 90s. The village also houses the Cleveland Mountain Rescue Team, keeping North Yorkshire moors safe and sound. Great Ayton is more than just a footnote in Captain Cook's biography. It's a living village, full of stories, memories and moments. And if you walk quietly enough, you might just hear them whisper. Time to leave Great Ayton and head for the next destination, which is Stokesley. On our way, we'll pass through rich farmland and leafy lanes. This is classic North Yorkshire country, where every turn reveals another postcard-perfect view. Welcome to Stokesley, a refined Georgian town shaped by centuries of trade. Its roots go back to the 13th century when it became a chartered market town, a role it still proudly plays every Friday. Our walk around Stokesley begins at the Packhorse Bridge, an arched in stone, steeped in centuries, built in the 17th century. This Grade II listed bridge once carried traders and travellers between Durham, Helmsley and York. This is a hidden gem that spans the River Leven. Known locally as Taylorson's Bridge, it was named after Nicholas Taylorson, a printer and merchant whose family left their mark on the town. Imagine horses laden with goods clattering across these stones long before the railway ever arrived. As we leave the Packhorse Bridge behind, the path hugs the River Leven, once the power source of Stokesley's textile mills. In the 19th century, steam and water worked side by side here, driving looms and livelihoods. Now we step into the heart of Stokesley, the High Street. Granted a market charter in 1223 by King Henry III, this street has been everything from medieval cattle fairs to Victorian parades. Dominating the town centre is the town hall, built in 1853 by Colonel Robert Hidyard. It replaced an older toll booth and butter market and once housed the magistrate court. Today it's a hub for the community events and local democracy. Just a short distance from the town centre is the preserved Stokesley Mill Wheel. It's located on the banks of the River Leven near Town End Bridge. The Manor House in Stokesley. It's a Grade 2 listed building on the High Street, known for its historic and architectural importance. Over the years, it has served as a hospital, courthouse and public library. Its entrance gates, piers, originally came from Angrove Hall, demolished in 1832, adding to its rich heritage. Today the High Street is alive with independent shops, Saturday markets and the scent of fresh bread and coffee. It's a place where history isn't just remembered, it's lived. From Stokesley we head towards the hills again, climbing gently into the edge of the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. The road narrows, the trees thicken, and before long you'll see a sign for Osmotherley. Slow down. It's one of those villages you might miss if you blink. Tucked into the western fringe of the moors is Osmotherley, a quintessential Yorkshire village with stone cottages, old inns, and a peaceful atmosphere. The name Osmotherley is steeped in legend. Some say it comes from Oswald's mother lies here, a nod to an ancient local tale. The village is a popular stopping point for walkers and cyclists, with Wainwright's famous coast-to-coast path, Cleveland Way National Trail, and the White Rose cycle route, all passing through or close by. At the northern end of the village stands a relic of medieval life, the village pinfold. Built from carefully worked sandstone, this small square enclosure once held a very specific purpose: to house stray livestock, cattle, pigs, or even geese that had wandered from their owners' fields were rounded up by the village pinder, a role appointed by the local lord. Inside the pinfold, the animals were fed and watered as the pinder sought out their owners, who had to pay a fine to reclaim them. If no one came, the animals were sold at the local market. Overgrown and quietly resting today, the pinfold is a humble reminder of times when even the smallest structures played a vital role in village life. The majority of the village of Osmotherley is a conservation area. Conservation areas were first introduced in England in 1967. Back in the 1800s, Osmotherley was a popular overnight stopover for Scottish cattlemen as they moved their herd southwards along the Hambleton Drove Road. On the village green, a peculiar stone structure tells tales of trade and faith. The barter table, now Grade 2 listed, once served as a place for locals to exchange goods. On several visits, John Wesley stood here and preached to villagers gathered on the green. Positioned around the village green are pubs with real fires, tiny windows full of books and sweets, and voices that still carry the calm rhythm of the dales. The village boasts 3 pubs, the Golden Lion, the 3 Tons and the Queen Catherine, with the latter being particularly notable as the only pub in England named Queen Catherine. Osmotherley doesn't ask to be discovered. It waits quietly for those who choose to slow down and listen. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can join me on the next trip.